It's a Friday in the big city. A look at one of our neighbors, the Empire State Building, not too far from New York City's Racetrack. It is the Big A. We are off and running on this Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider, off a 10-day layoff, if you will. Glad you're with us. Our clubhouse studios, Andy Serling, Jason Blewitt alongside. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Are you happy to be back at the racetrack?
Who wouldn't be happy back at the racetrack? You and I love the track, and it was nice to have a vacation. Nice to spend some time with friends and family, but it's good to be back here, and it's good to be back at the Big A. Beautiful weather.
And they were rolling through the turnstiles early and often today. The $3 calendar, 2015 calendar giveaway, if you will, quote unquote. Place was packed, a good amount of energy, and they were all, including us, witnesses to a solid 9 race card in which only 2 horses were not covered in the pick 6.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but it is amazing. It does feel like one person had 9 of the 11 horses covered. That person hit the pick 6 and had had all 9 consos, I'm guessing, as well, considering what the payoffs look like.
Well, we'll be back at it. First race post tomorrow of 12:20. But as we get underway, some big names concerning the Friday headlines. None more bigger than, of course, the legendary track announcer Tom Durkin, who on January 17th at the 49th Eclipse Award dinner will receive a Lifetime Eclipse Award of special merit.
I don't think anyone was surprised, and I don't think anybody was more deserving than Tom, a person who certainly gave his all and made a lot of our lives the racetrack better with his calls. There's so many memorable calls from Tom, and obviously it's been like not the year of Tom, but certainly the last 6 months of Tom, and we've gone through so many of his races, but it's a well-deserved honor for a man who added a great deal to the lives of horse players.
Well, first announcer ever to win that special Eclipse Award of Merit, and there's been plenty of great announcers over the years, but I think Tom Durkin stands above the rest and still racking up credentials and accolades in his retirement. We're glad he's doing well, and we'll look forward to Tom Durkin down at the Eclipse Award dinner at Gulfstream Park on January 17th. We'll be back at Belmont Park before you know it, and this was almost like a day. You noted the weather at the top. It was just a mild late December afternoon in South Ozone Park, Queens, with the temperature around mid-40s, and good days at Belmont Park await in the spring summer meet, in which a stake schedule, including 60 stakes, was announced today.
Yeah, no, obviously the Belmont Stakes is the biggest day among that, and felt like there's some small additions in the purses there, but very much will look like last year's sensational card. Whether or not we have a Triple Crown horse going for the Triple Crown or not, it's going to be a great day. You have to be there. The Stars and Stripe card looks similar. I believe they added the Victory Ride, which comes in as a prep for the test, as well as the Priorist at Saratoga. That's been out of that card. Looks like a very good card the second Saturday, May 9th, where we'll have the Man of War, the Ruffian, the Dwyer, and I believe one other stake on that card. That should be an excellent card, and there's just a lot of good racing at Belmont Park.
And even the run-up into that 2015 Belmont Stakes Day program. I mean, this year we stacked that card. We had 10 stakes, 5 Grade 1s. That'll be the same story in 2015, but there'll be 2 stakes on Thursday and 5 stakes on Friday, so that'll really create sort of a week-long Belmont Stakes atmosphere, if you will, and festival. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we won't be running on Wednesday. We're actually doing the draw, I believe, in the city on Wednesday. But as you said, the Thursday card, we're scheduling some 2-year-old stakes. Hopefully we'll get those early 2-year-olds in action. And then the Friday card. And one of the races that'll be fun on that Friday card is that 2-mile Belmont Invitational Gold Cup, or Belmont Gold Cup. There was a big hit last year. We got a big field for it. It was a really fun race. Looking forward to that. The True North will win Friday as well. And it's just such a good time of the year. And I believe we sort of started off the prior Saturday. We're going to have one of our showcase days that Saturday, I believe.
Well, Memorial Day will be devoted entirely to the state-bred program.
Yeah,
there's a half a dozen state-bred stakes on Memorial Day, and all those races on that Memorial Day card on Monday will be restricted to New York breds. It'll be a lot of fun, and the Stars and Stripes a big hit this year. We look forward to getting across to Belmont Park, across town, that is. But we're settled in here at Aqueduct, and the racing really has been terrific.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, a lot of people, it's sort of fashionable to knock our racing at Aqueduct, but that's just really the haters that don't pay attention to the racing here. A lot of people participate, and there's a reason. You get a lot of good cards, and so far we've had some good racing. You'll have some cheaper racing, but overall we've had some good competitive racing, and we saw plenty of good prices on today's card.
And this was a Wednesday card, or I should say a Friday. It kind of felt like a Wednesday off the layoff. It is a Friday. It was hard to keep track of what day it was during the vacation, but we're back. It's a Friday. To some of us it feels like a Wednesday, but the point is this was a program anchored by the 56th running of the Gravesend, and that's where we're going now. Just a field of 5, but some serious sprinting firepower as we send it up to John Abrial for the call.
And they're off. Saludos Amigos broke well, now being passed by Dad's Caps and Green, Grotto, and Me Want a Rose. Green Grotto from the rail has the early lead. Dad's Caps runs in second, a break of 2. To Me Wanna Rose in third. Now it's another 3 lengths. Back to Saludos Amigos and Crafty Dreamer. Green Grotto, the long shot here in front, 3/4 of a length over Dad's Caps. The opening quarter, 22 4/5 seconds. Dad's Caps getting closer now to Green Grotto. Green Grotto by a neck. Dad's Caps on the outside in second by 2.5. Saludos Amigos down at the rail. Me Wanna Rose is on the outside, and Crafty Dreamer is the trailer as they come for the quarter pole. Here's Dad's Caps narrowly. Green Grotto, Saludos Amigos looking to squeeze through down at the rail. Me Wanna Rose is on the outside. It's Dad's Caps. Here comes Me Wanna Rose on the outside. Here comes Saludos Amigos on the inside. Saludos Amigos has taken over and now draws away in deep stretch. Saludos Amigos wins the Gravesend by 3. Me Wanna Rose was second. Then Dad's Caps, Green Grotto, and Crafty Dreamer. And the time was 1 minute 9 2/5 seconds.
Saludos Amigos, who slipped through down inside and got the money in the Gravesend.
You know, it's hard to believe, Jason.
And
it's only been about 8.5 months since he came to New York and started running for David Jacobson. You look back and you think about he ran for a tag out in California. David Jacobson bought him privately, and his prior connections bought back into him after he started running as well as he did. A crafty ride by Rod Ortiz. Yes, he got a perfect trip, but he was best, and David's done a great job with a horse who, as a 3-year-old, he showed potential in some of our good 3-year-old sprint stakes. He fell apart for the same connections that have Moreno, but when David got him, he got back that good form and then some.
And Rod Ortiz Jr. subbing or filling in for the injured Cordelia Velasquez, who's been the regular pilot of Saludos Amigos, but Erad, minus the whip, did a good job when we caught up with him after taking the Gravesend.
So you're turning for home. You lost your whip?
Yes, I did. You know, I got a little contact with the horse was in outside of me, and I lost the whip. Thanks God, my horse was ready. I didn't do a great job with him. He's a nice horse, and he just get through and take off when he changed lead. I don't need it today.
He's normally the kind of horse that's making an outside sweeping run in the clear. Was there any concern around the far turn when you were down inside and pretty much in the pocket?
No, I really, when I passed the 3 pole, I got a lot of horse. I can feel that, and the trainer told me try to grab, and he liked to feel the bed on the mouth. So I was cruising in that point, and the rail was open, and the trainer really liked to save ground in every race. I like that for him, and I like to save ground too. So I said, why not? Let's get through there, and we save. The wire is more close for inside, so cut the corner and try to win.
It all worked out. Great job. And look, the year's coming to a close, Erad. You have nearly 300 wins. You're over $20 million in purse earnings for 2014. Just talk about the year that you've had.
Well, thanks God, and thanks the owners and trainers that give me the opportunity for let me ride his horses, and I'm very appreciate that, and my agent do a great job. I can't say something else than that. Keep working hard, and my trainer do excellent job, and again, the owners and trainers, they give me the hands. That's all that I need.
So you're looking forward to 2015?
Yeah, of course. The sky is the limit.
Best of luck.
Thank you, boss.
Quick on his feet, an easy hand ride, couple of taps on his shoulder, minus the whip with Rod Ortiz Jr. aboard Saludos Amigos. Young kid, 22, from Puerto Rico. What do you like about him?
I like everything about him, and I think to know him is to like him. He's just a sensational guy, and you can see from the interview that he did with you, and obviously it's a perfect ride, and didn't need the whip, but you could hear from what he was saying to you. You say, boy, you had this great year. And he says, yeah, I want to thank the owners and traders for putting me on my horses, and I want to thank my agent. And he does need to thank his agent. Of course, Steve Rushing, who had success with Edgar Prado, then he was Ramon Dominguez's agent, did so well with Ramon. But he shows that he is really as good an agent as there is in the game, and that's the kind of person Erad is. He thanks the people that got him there, but certainly Erad did his part in giving one good ride after another, and he's a rider that we've watched develop, we've watched him get better, and that's what separates the very best rider. You and I talked about it earlier, Jay. You see a lot of guys with promise, but there's a big difference between having promise, losing your bug, and going on to be one of the top riders. Rod Ortiz is going to be one of the top riders in the country for many years to come.
Is it a positive, even with the business he has, and as Steve Rushing as his agent, or with Rushing as his agent, is it a positive Erod will spend the winter here in the Big Apple?
I think it is for us. I mean, you want to have the more good riders you have here, the better. I think a very positive addition this year has been Fernando Hara, who's ridden extremely well. Obviously, we have the Ortiz brothers here. Junior Alvarado came back, so he's back in business. Good to see him coming back. Cornelio will be back soon. Be good to have him back. And, you know, Ruben Silvera is another rider who's off his mounts today. Some delays in getting back to New York, but he stepped up his game as well. Let's face it, Jason, the more good riders you have here, the less bad rides you'll get.
And the kids are okay, that's for sure. A young colony, but a deep colony. As we get it back, race number 2, Johnny I with the call. We've got soon-to-be 3-year-old filly maidens, who are still 2, of course, in this mile and 70-yard maiden special weight.
Perfectly Mine. Been here before, is in between horses. Dukas on the outside, and Ring Knocker is up close. The field heads for the turn. 'Tis the fast lane down on the inside. Has a narrow lead. Been here before. Dukas second and third. Perfectly Mine down at the rail. As the field approaches the backstretch, it's 'Tis the fast lane in front by a length. Been here before. Runs in second. Dukas had a little trouble on that turn. Now has straightened away, heading up the backstretch. Perfectly Mine is running in fourth, and Ring Knocker is next in fifth. Then it's Say Sin Sin on the inside in sixth, with Push Me Pull You on the outside in seventh. 4 lengths. Back to Anessa's Dream in eighth, and 5 more to Caroline Spirit, who trails the field in ninth. 'Tis the fast lane, challenged by Been Here Before. The quarter went in 24 seconds, and the half mile up in 49 seconds. 'Tis the fast lane by ahead. Been Here Before, right there in second. Dukas on the outside in third. Perfectly Mine is fourth. Asked for a bit more. Perfectly Mine has now fallen 3.5 lengths behind the lead. Ring Knocker is in fifth. And then on the outside, Push Me, Pull You. Say Sin Sin down at the fence. The field is at the top of the stretch, and Been Here Before has now taken over. Been Here Before in front, clear by a length and a half. 'Tis the fast lane is second. Dukas has tailed off, now under the whip. On the outside is a Ring Knocker. It's Been Here Before. And she's going to break her maiden, going 2 turns here on the inner.
We talked about the 2014 of Erod Ortiz. How about the 2014 of the sire Tappet? 155 winners. He will stand for $300,000 in 2015, and he's got a darling homebred by the name of Been Here Before.
I'll give a little love to my man Jason Blewitt, who picked Been Here Before on top. Got 1080, being both the favorites. And this horse ran very well. Another Kieran McLaughlin, maidens especially, that stepped forward, getting Lasix for the first time. Sam Camacho substituted for Dylan Davis. We hope he's okay and comes back very soon. But he made no mistakes riding this horse, an easy winner. And the key to this race, and we've talked about it some from a handicap angle, is keeping track of the biases we've had here. And you had Dukas, who was the favorite here, actually, who had ridden a gold rail in his one dirt start. He was dressed up off that. And you follow the biases, you go against him. And this was a race that you could have made some money in it. And so far, playing against horses that rode biases to dressed up performances and on horses that looked worse than they were because they were against the bias, it's been profitable over the last month.
You've got to pay attention. You've got to do your work. There's a track trend section in the Naira Post Parade. There's plenty of information online. I know you keep us up to speed regarding your Twitter handle, which is worth the following as well, because like you said, there's been so many, and even going back to the fall races at Belmont.
No, it's been an unusual set of circumstances because of all the rain we've had. We've had a lot of dead rails. We've had some gold rails, and you and I are not guys that are running around looking for biases. Most of the time, we talk about the track being fair, especially on the inner, a track that mistakenly people seem to think is some sort of big speedway, but we had a lot of biases at Belmont as well as at Aqueduct, and following those biases is a way to make money.
And we had some compelling races once again today. We'll have those for you when we come back from this short break here on MSG+. Pretty sunset at the Big A, around 4:30 p.m. or so. We are back on this Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider, and we will get them in the gate. Andy Serling, Jason Blewitt alongside. We don't want to pause any more in the racing action, so let's get you back. Race number 8. We'll call it the co-feature, a high-price $62,000 optional claimer.
And they're off. Irish Whisper goes out for the lead. Trail Walker is on the outside. Now Frivolity moves up at the rail. Laguna Girl gains as well. It's Irish Whisper in front. Laguna Girl moving into second, and Frivolity is next in third. Lost in Success, who was off a step slow, has advanced up to fourth. Trailwalker is now in fifth. Missippityslewda at the rail in sixth. Then it's Janata in seventh, and a break of 3 to Make the Moment, who trails the field in eighth. The quarter was run in 23 seconds. Irish Whisper and Laguna Girl, and the two of them hook up around the far turn. Irish Whisper by ahead. Laguna Girl on the outside, and Frivolity now takes to the outside, followed by Lost in Success, the half in 46-1. It's Irish Whisper on the outside. Here comes Frivolity. Laguna Girl, Frivolity in front, then Laguna Girl. Make the Moment is putting in a late run here. Now a 16th out. Frivolity has the lead as they come down for the wire. And Frivolity, and it's a big day for trainer David Jacobson. Frivolity the winner over Laguna Girl, then Make the Moment and Missippityslewda.
Frivolity 3 wide or so, third off the layoff, and it all worked out in deep stretch.
Yeah, this was a very interesting competitive race, and once again, obviously Irish Whisper ran so badly. Maybe something happened. We hope she's okay, but she's a horse that was dressed up off a gold rail performance. If you played against her, I still couldn't have come up with Frivolity, who I didn't like even a little bit in this race. But you know what? I forgot to mention Jeremy Rose. We were talking about riders here. Another rider's come to town, and he certainly made more than the most of his opportunities. A very good ride in Frivolity. Little headstrong early and got her to rate and settle, ended up getting a perfect trip and getting the job done.
Well, he's a very strong finisher who has shown in the past he can perform at the highest levels in this game. You obviously go back to that 05 Triple Crown Series with the Fleet Owls. He's got Big Dave as his agent, and I think he's showing people he's serious and he wants to ride here in New York.
No question about it, and he has really done well in riding here. And this was a race that featured a very slow pace. And while Irish Whisper, the overbet favorite, ran poorly in here, you saw long shot Laguna Girl also holding on well because of the slow pace. An excellent performance by Make the Moment, making a huge run from last, just not able to finish it up. The pace had a lot to do with it, but she's another horse that's running well for her trainer Charlie Baker, another guy who does a great job around here.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of a hot trainer, David Jacobson won his third. Johnny I mentioned it in deep stretch with Frivolity. A big day for David Jacobson. As we get back, it's the furious pick 6 stretch calls and runs of 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 with Johnny I.
Unseating the rider was number 8, Celebrate We Will. The field is now past the 8th pole with Blue Collar Cat in front by 4 lengths. Officer Mahaffey running in second. It will be Blue Collar Cat to win it. Late move on the outside here from Key Alley, who gets up for second. Then Officer Mahaffey and Savant. As Petroselli drops back, Lucky Lotto looking to come on through. 3/4 and 1, 13-1. Here's Artemis Paperboy. Lucky Lotto now moves to the outside. Artemis Paperboy, Lucky Lotto on the outside. Lobango towards the rail. A 16th out. Artemis Paperboy and Lucky Lotto. And it's between those two as they come on down to the finish. Artemis Paperboy held on. Lucky Lotto in second, and it's a photo for third between Lubango. Too Good to Be True. On the outside, it's Prize Taker. Wraith asked for more in third. Still 3 lengths from the lead. Prize Taker is now the leader. Wraith on the outside, getting closer. It's Prize Taker, and here is Wraith. And Wraith has taken the lead. Wraith in front as they come for the wire, and the favorite prevails by a head. Price Taker was second by 1. She's All Even, and the half in 47-3, and now there's an 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Enduring Touch looking to pull off the upset over the odds-on favorite She's All Even, and Enduring Touch has built a 3-length lead. She's All Even, a clear-cut second, but it will be Enduring Touch by a little more than 3 lengths. She's All Even was second, and Accelerate came from way out of it to finish third. Lucky's Dream holding on to the lead over Doc Allman. Then it's Abra, Don Tito, Regulus on the outside, followed by Slanawalia. Lucky's Dream still there with a 16th to the finish. Doc Allman and Don Tito giving chase. Lucky's Dream delivers here, wire to wire. Doc Allman holds second. Then it was Don Tito and Regulus who finished up way out of turn. The field is in the stretch. El Viejo Verde. Here's Jacopo on the outside. Wild Freud in between horses. A furlong to the finish. Jacopo is now the leader. Wild Freud in second. El Viejo Verde back in third. False Positive moving up on the outside. But it will be Jacopo. A 3-length winner. Very close for second between Wild Freud and the late closing False Positive.
Jacopo, the last winner in that Pick 6 carryover that paid a little over $51,000. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to the person or people who took down today's sequence at the Big A. Not many winning favorites in the sequence, and he paid around $12, $11.80 or so. But one winning favorite was back in race number 5 with Wraith, who was able to get by Prize Taker in deep stretch.
And not a horse that really wants to win. I think Arad did a very good job saving the ground and getting her up and making her move at the right time. You even see she looks like she's going by the 7 Prize Taker, and she hangs a bit at the end. Excellent ride by Fernando Herrera and Prize Taker. She's a horse that makes jockeys look bad, Jason. She's such a big, big filly and a tough one to handle. You basically have to get out of her way, and that's what Fernando Herrera did here. Yeah, she was wide, but she's not a horse that's going to be comfortable racing between horses at all. You've got to stay out in the clear and make your run. She ran very well. Fernando did a good job. Wraith is just a much more tactical horse, and that's why she got the money.
And Mitch Freeman's done a good job with Wraith. She's been a consistent check getter now, 2 for 14 in her career, but she's banked around $140,000. She dances a lot of dances, and I'm sure she'll be coming back to run on the inner track, much like the progeny of Frost Giant, as we get on to our Frost Giant New York bred standout on this Friday afternoon at the Big A. We get you back, race number 9, Jacopo, little inner track dirt. Here he comes, 3 or 4 wide.
Nice to see Victor Santiago back in the winner's circle as well, and Jacopo, who actually seemed to have improved. It wasn't the wet track last time. Got an absolutely perfect ride here, a flawless ride, and an improving New York bred.
Who's owned by Alan Cohen, son of Maimonides right here. He's managing partner, by the way, and CEO of the Florida Panthers. Owned Wait a While, who was an Eclipse champion back in '06, and the future is very bright for Frost Giant. To inquire about breeding to him, contact Erik Bishop at erik@sunrisestallions.com, 516-606-9768. We've been talking a lot about this colony and the riders with another Friday down, and let's take a look at the rider standings with Jose Ortiz on top.
I think it's really a factor of guys miss days and different things, but Jose has been consistent. The Ortizes are likely to be on top. Be interesting to see what Manny Franco does. He's a rider that's on the upswing as well, and he's another one with a big career ahead of him.
And it was good to have Junior Alvarado back off injury. Took it easy today, rode in the second race. We'll be seeing more of him. David Jacobson with a natural hat trick on today's card. Todd Pletcher and Byron Hughes, his New York assistant, had a nice winner off a long, long layoff.
Yeah, got that horse to win off a layoff in the 7th race today. A nice job by them, and that horse's speed was able to control in there.
And he was actually claimed, in fact, Lucky's Dream by David Jacobson for $40,000 out of race number 7, including 2 other horses.
No, we saw a number of claims, very busy in the box. A total of 11 attempts, are, I believe, to claim horses, and 6 horses were claimed. I would have gone in for a couple of them. Neither of them ran that well, though, Petrocelli as well as Slavali.
Two claims out of the nightcap as we send it to break. We're nearing the nightcap, I should say, on this Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider. It's all about the Saturday preview and the first of 9 at 12:20. Dark outside. We are back. Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider right here on MSG Plus. It's Andy Serling. It's Jason Blewitt. It's all of you from our clubhouse studios. Good to be back. Let's get down to business with Saturday's 6th race. Back-to-back races we're going to preview, and we start with Waco and Joking off a race here, Cigar Mile Day.
Well, Cigar Mile Day, you had a gold rail. So you had Waco, who chased 3 wide around the racetrack and chased the very terrific speed of the runner-up in this race. And you had Joking, who was chasing 3 to 4 wide behind him. So you've got 2 horses that were against the track in that race, but you've also got Waco's ability as well as being the controlling speed here. He's a heavy favorite. Starts out that guaranteed late pick 4J, and he is an hour the horse to beat.
$250K the minimum, but John's Island, a state bred who's been okay for Jimmy Jerkins, is worth a look.
Oh, you can't knock him. He's been a very nice horse, and he's run some fast races. The problem is, from a dynamic standpoint, he's compromised. He was compromised in this race when the winner was able to run off on the front end. He didn't do badly running 4th behind the very impressive Read the Byline. He's just going to have to catch Waco. It's really all about whether Waco shows up or not. If he does show up, he's going to win. If he doesn't, it's open to horses like John's Island.
Let's move on to Leilani's Ticket in a race here November 12th. He won his last start on December 5th, and he's in pretty good form right now.
He is, but he was in a race where there was some incident last time out. If I'm trying to beat these horses, I'll tell you a horse I'd be interested in, Joe Mooch. Joe Mooch was very impressive winning last time for Linda Rice. Second time off the claim going long. He's better going short. For what it's worth, over the last 5 years, Linda is 3 for 3 on the inner track.
Wow.
Going long to short, turning back off of a win with an ROI of $19.20.
Wow. Joe Mooch at a price. I'm sold. I'll be using him as a VRC in that late pick 4, which once again gets underway in race 6. A Saturday card, however, that is anchored by race number 8, the feature. We get back to the Spa, we get back to the Curlin, and we take a look at Charge Now, who's the younger half, the Super Saver.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be favored here. This is a very hard race to make the line for. This was a good effort in here. I mean, you're talking about a horse that finished out of Protonico. We saw with the Discovery, won the Smarty Jones after this. He was second in the Clark. I don't know. He's certainly getting a class drop. He's going back to the right surface. We'll see how much pace he gets. Pace is a big question here, and a question with this horse, Ursal. I don't like Ursal's recent form, Jay.
He likes the inner. He's outside, but his recent form is bad, and he can be yours with the bad recent form for 62.5.
Yeah, and listen, Kieran McLaughlin's horses, we've seen with the trainer standings, running very well. As you say, he's got back races good enough to get it done. He's going to have to run his best race from an outside post. Not for me.
Dream Saturday tries to stretch out. A big win first time out for Michelle Nevin in the race we're looking at back on the undercard of the Alabama.
This was a sensational effort by her, and actually this horse was able to beat Waco that day, who was locked and loaded and bet strongly. Last time out was completely and totally eliminated at the start, had some trouble after that, and just as a draw line to that race. He is the inside speed in here. How much pressure does Power World put on him in this race? That's the question. If he's able to carve out fair fractions, Dream Saturday's the horse to beat.
From the Spa to Spa City Fever at the Big A, who's done some nice things and kept pretty decent form for quite some time for Jacobson.
He did. You got to forgive his last race. He was dreadful last time out. Whether or not you can forgive that race goes a long way to what you do in this race. As you say, he's run plenty of races that give him a chance. He's run well on the inner before. I just don't know what to do with his last effort.
I took Dream Saturday, and you and I will be on the air with the Saturday edition of Talking Horses at 11:30 a.m., which follows the first set of changes with Johnny I. Got a stat here, Michelle Nevin. Dirt sprinter route, she's 10 for her last 32 for 31%.
No, I agree. She's done well. The ROI is $3.59 with that move. And I like this horse. I think he's talented, and he should be the controlling speed. But Power World is a horse you have to worry about in this race. If he forces the issue and they go too fast early, it sets it up for closers, particularly Charge Now.
It's a heck of a Saturday feature. As we say, we got to get out of here. Great job. Always a fun time hanging out with you here on MSG Plus. We thank you all for tuning in to this Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider. Salute those amigos. Terrific today in the Gravesend. And we'll see you tomorrow for a Saturday of racing at Aqueduct.